In mid-2020, an ex-teacher with a ukulele uploaded a 15-second song called Eating Animals is Wrong, and TikTok erupted, rocketing that vegan teacher past 1.7 million followers faster than any activist in history. Overnight, she was grading strangers' dinners, telling believers to ditch meat-friendly religions, comparing slaughterhouses to something very controversial, feeding her dog a plant-only diet on camera, and baiting Gordon Ramsay, who obliterated her with a burger for 41 million viewers. The shock meter hit red when she lobbed a flirty fruits and vegetables joke at 16-year-old Tommy Innit. TikTok swung the ban hammer. Petitions piled up, and the internet flipped from curiosity to open revolt. Today, exiled from the platform that crowned her, Katie Karen Diekmeyer preaches to a downsized flock of roughly 250,000 YouTube subscribers, posting hour-long green screen rants that scrape a fraction of her old views. This is the satisfying downfall of that vegan teacher. In early days, from school teacher to TikTok star, before she was that vegan teacher, Katie Karen Diekmeyer led a fairly ordinary life in Canada. She worked as a registered nurse for 25 years, and then as a school teacher in Montreal. By 2019, in her mid-50s, Katie had grown disillusioned with the school system. She claimed the meat and dairy industries had too much influence on her students, and she left teaching to focus on activism. In 2019, Katie joined TikTok and began posting about veganism. At first, her videos were simple and earnest, featuring her talking to the camera about animal rights. But the content that truly catapulted her to fame combined music and shock value. In July 2020, she posted a TikTok that would change her life, a short song aimed at McDonald's. Strumming her ukulele and singing "Eating Animals is Wrong, McDonald's," she urged the fast food giant to embrace vegan options. The "Eating Animals is Wrong" McDonald's song went viral, resonating with animal activists and catching the eye of countless others who found it either inspiring or absurd. The video garnered hundreds of thousands of views on TikTok and even spread to Twitter within days, instantly making that vegan teacher a viral name. Encouraged by the attention, she followed up with more catchy, confrontational tunes, often wearing t-shirts emblazoned with slogans like "Vegan because paying for murder is wrong," or holding signs on camera. She would sing directly to famous individuals or the general public about the virtues of veganism. Her style was a mix of whimsical and abrasive. She called her viewers students and graded people's lifestyles with check marks or X's, as if everyone on TikTok were in her class. This unique persona, part activist, part teacher, part entertainer, fueled her rapid rise. By late 2020, that vegan teacher was adding hundreds of thousands of followers in a matter of months. It wasn't just vegans who tuned in. Many people watched out of curiosity, amusement, or even irritation. Katie's tendency to deliver moral lectures in sing-song rhymes sparked a frenzy of reactions. Some TikTok users duetted her videos to mock them, while others earnestly debated her points. This only boosted her visibility on TikTok's algorithm. By the start of 2021, she had amassed over 1.7 million followers on TikTok, making her one of the platform's most famous and infamous figures. Her videos frequently racked up millions of views. TikTok had never seen an activist quite like this. Katie's viral songs and slogans grabbed attention, but not always the kind she wanted. Early on, her videos took a turn from light-hearted tunes to more polarizing messages. She believed deeply in her cause, animal liberation, and wasn't afraid to challenge anyone and everyone to adopt her views. In doing so, she crossed lines that many felt should not be crossed. One of her first major controversies came when she told her audience that if their religion didn't align with veganism, they should change their religion. In a now infamous TikTok song, Katie cheerfully urged people to reconsider their faith if it condoned eating animals. To religious viewers, this was deeply offensive, suggesting someone abandoned their spiritual beliefs over diet-angered Christians, Muslims, and others alike. Critics argued she was trivializing people's faith, while Katie saw it as pointing out hypocrisy. This bold stance earned her angry responses and set the tone for what was to come. Not long after, another video struck an even more sensitive nerve. Katie released a TikTok in which she compared coming out as vegan to coming out as LGBTQ+. In this clip, she stated that coming out as an animal rights activist is much more special than coming out as a member of the LGBTQ community, calling the latter an entirely selfish act. The implication that being openly gay is selfish, whereas being openly vegan is unselfish. Members of the LGBTQ+ community and allies were appalled. Many felt she was belittling the courage it takes to come out and turning a personal identity into a competition with her vegan cause. TikTok users flooded her comments to condemn the comparison, and response videos blasted her insensitivity. What Katie intended as encouragement for activism was widely interpreted as an insult to an entire community. It became one of her most viral controversies, cementing her reputation for offensive content. By late 2020, that vegan teacher had become a lightning rod. Every new video was now being watched by an army of detractors as much as by supporters. Petitions began circulating, calling for her to be deplatformed. In fact, in mid-2020, a change.org petition urging TikTok to remove that vegan teacher gained tens of thousands of signatures, accusing her of hate speech and harmful misinformation. The petition alleged that Katie had made blatantly racist, bigoted, and discriminatory statements, and that her content was morally and ethically repugnant, violating community guidelines. It cited her habit of targeting various groups, from minors to the LGBTQ+ community, people with disabilities, and people of color in the name of veganism. By early 2021, this petition had over 20,000 signatures and was growing. A separate petition even aimed to save Katie's pet dog, Bella, alleging that forcing the dog to eat a vegan diet was a form of animal abuse. That petition amassed about 44,000 signatures from concerned onlookers. Katie's treatment of her dog became a sore point after she proudly revealed that Bella, her dog, was on a vegan diet. While some vegan pet owners agreed with her, many in the wider public and veterinary professionals were alarmed. They argued it was unhealthy, even cruel, to deprive a dog of meat. This controversy spilled into mainstream discussion, with Katie staunchly defending herself by saying Bella was healthy on plant-based kibble. Nevertheless, it added to the narrative that vegan teacher's brand of activism was extreme. Perhaps most disturbing to many were Katie's repeated comparisons of animal agriculture to the Holocaust. In video after video, she drew parallels between factory farms and Nazi camps, insisting the animals are in places as horrible as the Nazi camps and that the Holocaust never ended for them. While a few animal rights activists have made similar analogies in the past, hearing it on a viral TikTok from a smiling, singing woman was jarring to millions. It was seen as an insensitive and inappropriate analogy. Yet Katie doubled down on this rhetoric repeatedly. Even after being called out, she posted text over one video declaring, "What happened in World War II was racism. What's happening now is speciesism. Be kind to all kinds and be vegan from now on." These statements only deepened public anger at her. And still, there was more. Katie did not shy away from graphic content either. She promoted documentaries and footage of animal slaughter on a platform filled with young users. TikTok's user base includes many early teens and even children, and Katie's detractors argued that her content was inappropriate for minors. The petition for her ban noted she shared videos depicting animal killings in gruesome detail, warning that such content was dangerous for children, on an app where 13-year-olds and younger unofficially could see it. By early 2021, Katie Karen Diekmeyer's controversies had reached critical mass. She had managed to offend or alarm religious groups, the LGBTQ+ community, people of color, survivors of abuse, and even fellow vegans, many of whom felt her outrageous style was hurting the vegan cause rather than helping. She was attracting enormous attention, but much of it was negative. Internet sentiment was turning against that vegan teacher. Memes portrayed her as the ultimate crazy vegan. Detractors called her the most hated person on TikTok. And looming ahead was a confrontation that would both boost her notoriety and accelerate her downfall. Her clashes with high-profile creators. Katie's confrontational activism didn't stop at nameless viewers. She often set her sights on public figures. Her logic was simple. Call out the biggest influencers and challenge them to go vegan. If they responded, it would spread her message even further. What she perhaps didn't anticipate was just how badly some of these showdowns would go for her image. Two of these feuds in particular became internet legend, one with a famously foul-mouthed British chef and another with a teenage Minecraft YouTuber. Katie began openly tagging and addressing Chef Gordon Ramsay in her videos. Gordon, a world-renowned chef known for his love of steaks and burgers, was an irresistible target for that vegan teacher. She wrote a custom song just for him. In it, she strummed her ukulele and sang the now famous lines, "And if you call me a donut, that's fine. Vegan donut. Vegan from now on," imploring the chef to reconsider his carnivorous ways. Katie even cleverly anticipated Gordon's typical insult. He often calls people a donut as a light-hearted jibe. In her song, she added, "And if you call me a donut, that's fine, as long as you're vegan from now on." For a while, Gordon Ramsay hadn't responded until January 2021, when he finally noticed the viral tune. What came next was TikTok history. Ramsay posted a duet video responding to that vegan teacher. In the split-screen TikTok, Katie is seen singing her song on the left, while on the right, Gordon Ramsay appears, munching on a hamburger with a cheeky grin. He listened silently as she sang, dramatically stuffing his face with lettuce as if he was considering her plea, but as her song ended, Ramsay delivered his verdict. He looked into the camera and exclaimed, "Vegan donut," his retort to her lyric, and promptly took a huge bite of a juicy beef burger. The caption on his video read, "Beef burgers were consumed while making this TikTok." And he even joked on Instagram, "It's an honor, a song was written about me. Now back to my beef burger." The internet exploded at this exchange. Ramsay's TikTok duet went massively viral, amassing over 41 million views within days. The comments were filled with viewers cheering on the celebrity chef for roasting the vegan teacher in classic Gordon Ramsay style. Katie's original video also garnered millions of hits, around 4.5 million by that time, but the public sentiment in this feud heavily favored Ramsay. To many, his jokey dismissal made Katie look foolish. Memes and YouTube compilations immortalized the moment. Though Katie likely hoped to convert Gordon Ramsay, what happened instead was a huge wave of ridicule directed at her. Still, she didn't back down. She continued making videos about Gordon and other chefs, like British cook Jamie Oliver, whom she had also challenged to veganize his recipes. If anything, the Ramsay feud brought her even more followers, albeit many were hate following to see what she'd do next. For better or worse, that vegan teacher was now firmly a viral sensation beyond the vegan community. Around the same time, Katie entangled herself in a feud with a very different kind of internet celebrity, Tommy Innit, a 16-year-old Minecraft YouTuber and streamer. Tommy Innit, real name Thomas Simons, was one of the fastest rising stars on TikTok in the gaming realm, known for his comedic videos and youthful charm. In December 2020, Tommy posted a light-hearted TikTok from his college library, joking, "I'm at the college surrounded by women," basically a teen boy's playful boast. Katie decided this was a chance to inject a vegan lesson. Using TikTok's Stitch feature, she responded with a video saying, "Don't be scared, Tommy. Follow Miss Tofu, that's me, your vegan teacher, and she'll help you find a nice vegan girl who will teach you what to do." This odd response, a 56-year-old woman talking about finding him a nice vegan girl, raised some eyebrows among Tommy's massive fan base, but it was only the beginning. A few weeks later, Tommy Innit posted another TikTok celebrating his YouTube success, showing off his 2 Golden Play Button awards. It was a proud moment for the teenager. But Katie saw another opportunity. She duetted Tommy's video and delivered a message that would soon spell trouble for her. In her response video, Katie addressed Tommy directly in a sing-song voice. "Tommy, the nice vegan girls don't want to see your buttons. But if you want them to play with your buttons, you'll have to show them your fruits and your vegetables." As she said this, she dramatically held up an apple, a pear, and a cucumber on camera, a not-so-subtle innuendo implying male genitalia. Essentially, she was making a sexual joke toward a 16-year-old. For many, this was the final straw. Tommy Innit's fans erupted in outrage. To them, it appeared that a grown woman was making a lewd joke at a minor's expense. Social media lit up with criticism of that vegan teacher. "This is gross. Leave Tommy alone." And "How is this allowed on TikTok?" were common sentiments. Even people who hadn't paid much attention to Katie before were now alarmed by the story, a popular underage YouTuber being seemingly harassed under the guise of vegan advocacy. Commentary YouTubers and TikTok tea pages quickly picked up the incident. The consensus was that Katie had crossed the line from activism into inappropriate behavior. TikTok's moderators appeared to agree. Just days after Katie posted the fruits and vegetables video directed at Tommy Innit, her TikTok account was suddenly banned. On February 22nd, 2021, users noticed that that vegan teacher's page had been wiped, replaced with the message, "Couldn't find this account. User banned for multiple community guideline violations." That sexual joke to a minor was widely believed to be the final violation that triggered the ban, though TikTok did not cite a specific video publicly. The ban came amid the broader context of Katie's many contentious posts. Multiple violations was the given reason, and indeed she had amassed quite a list. It's likely TikTok had been reviewing her content for some time, and the Tommy Innit incident happened just as a massive petition and public pressure campaign was peaking. That vegan teacher was now deplatformed from the app where she found fame. When the news broke, celebration erupted in certain corners of the internet. A trending tweet from one commentator announced, "Breaking news that will change your life. That vegan teacher banned from TikTok due to multiple community guidelines violations." Memes of virtual confetti falling and jokes about the animals celebrating her ban circulated. On TikTok itself, users posted reaction videos cheering that she was gone. Katie had managed to unite meat eaters and vegans, gamers and chefs fans, if only in shared relief that her polarizing lectures had been booted off the platform. Being banned from TikTok might have silenced many creators, but Katie Karen Diekmeyer wasn't about to back down quietly. The very next day after her TikTok deletion, she took to her YouTube channel to address her ban and the backlash in a 23-minute video titled "Censorship: Why Good People Must Rise Up and Speak Out." She appeared upset but defiant. Speaking directly to the camera, with the comments section disabled for that upload, Katie insisted that she would not be silenced. "Animal rights activists don't stop being animal rights activists. I'm never going to quit," she declared in the video, her voice resolute. "You can close down one account, you can close down another. I'll keep popping up. I'll never stop. The animals are too important. In Katie's view, TikTok's decision had cut off the head of the movement's biggest activist on that platform, but she proclaimed, "I'm still here, and I'm not going to stop." True to her word, Katie immediately tried to find ways back onto TikTok. Within days, she began creating alternative accounts in an attempt to circumvent the ban. One of the first was under an eyebrow-raising username at that.teacher. On this alt account, she explicitly revisited her comparison content, apparently aiming to educate or provoke using that theme. The account garnered attention and swift backlash, and TikTok banned it just a few days after its creation for violating guidelines. But Katie didn't stop. Over the next week, internet sleuths identified at least 5 different new TikTok accounts that seemed to belong to her. She tried handles like That Vegan Nurse, That Vegan Teacher Hoosings, and even tongue-in-cheek variations like That Meat Teacher Mistofu. These accounts, however, mostly didn't last long. Some were banned almost immediately. Others were left inactive or used only to reply in comment sections. TikTok was clearly on high alert, and any account obviously tied to Katie was swiftly removed. With TikTok essentially a dead end, Katie refocused on YouTube, where she still had a platform. Her YouTube channel, at the time of the TikTok ban, had a modest approximately 40,000 subscribers. But with all the media coverage and public curiosity, her YouTube began to grow. She started uploading daily videos, sometimes even multiple times per day. These weren't the short, snappy skits that TikTok had seen. Instead, her YouTube content became known for being long-winded and unfiltered. Often filming in front of a green screen, Katie would post lengthy rants, reactions, and even readings of TikTok comments. She turned off comments and likes on many videos, presumably to avoid the flood of negativity, and spoke at length about her views, her critics, and current events. Some of these YouTube videos only furthered her controversial reputation. In March 2021, just a week after her TikTok ban, Katie posted a video titled "Are You Racist?" that drew intense criticism. In it, she performed an acrostic poem where she spelled out the N-word on a whiteboard, letter by letter, ostensibly to denounce racism. She even held up a doll of a black baby as part of the bit. The intent may have been to say, "We shouldn't hate others based on words," but the execution was jaw-dropping. A white woman casually writing a horrific racial slur. The backlash was immediate. Viewers and fellow creators condemned the video as highly offensive and tone-deaf, accusing her of racism. Katie responded the same day with a 30-minute rant video defending herself, insisting that the outrage against her was censorship, and adamantly claiming, "I know I'm not a racist person." This incident solidified for many that Katie was beyond reasoning. She seemed willing to use extreme shock tactics in the name of spreading her message, no matter who she hurt or offended in the process. Meanwhile, major YouTubers and TikTokers continued to react to That Vegan Teacher. 2021 saw a flood of commentary videos about her. Some popular creators made satirical skits imitating her teaching style. Others compiled her worst moments for millions to chuckle or cringe at. PewDiePie, YouTube's biggest solo creator, jokingly referenced her in a video with a sarcastic bit titled "Vegan Teacher is in love with me" that got over 10 million views. Nipawolf did a video titled "The Vegan Teacher Fails Me," mocking Katie's content. Chris Collins, who Katie had targeted, released a response video playfully titled "The Vegan Teacher Needs to Stop," which garnered over 8 million views on YouTube. In that video, Chris, who had been open about surviving sexual assault, addressed how Katie had shockingly belittled her trauma in a bizarre attempt to compare it to animal suffering. Viewers were firmly on Chris's side, and they applauded her for standing up to the vegan bully. In one swift stroke, a 19-year-old comedy creator managed to make Katie look out of touch and cruel to a younger generation. Each feud or call-out further amplified Katie's notoriety, but also isolated her. It seemed the entire online community, from chefs and gamers to fellow TikTok stars, was united in opposing that vegan teacher's methods. Despite the onslaught of criticism, Katie pressed on through 2021 and 2022, determined to use whatever platforms she had left. Surprisingly, there were moments of sympathy for her too. A couple of times, rumors swirled that vegan teacher had died, prompting an outpouring of concern and admittedly some morbid jokes. In April 2021, a fake news report claimed Katie had suffered a heart attack and passed away. The rumor spread enough that Katie had to post a video debunking her own death, humorously titled, "Why does everyone always think I'm dead?" Then again, in mid-2021, after a period of relative quiet, another death hoax circulated. Each time, Katie emerged to reassure her followers she was very much alive and to scold the internet for spreading lies. By mid-2021, Katie also faced harassment that went beyond the screen. Critics vandalized her real-life home, throwing eggs at her house in acts of protest. She mentioned these incidents in a YouTube video titled "Please Stop Being Vegan-Phobic and Attacking Our Home," describing the criminal mischief she and her family experienced. It was a sobering reminder that the hate she'd attracted online had potentially dangerous offline consequences. Even many who disagreed with Katie's messages felt that kind of behavior was unacceptable. The pendulum of public opinion, which had gleefully cheered her TikTok ban, now also took note that relentless online hate had real human impact. Once the name "That Vegan Teacher" dominated TikTok feeds and YouTube debates. But as the months and years went on, the internet's collective attention moved on to the next controversy, the next viral star. For Katie Karen Diekmeyer, the slope of fame went sharply downward. After 2021, banned from TikTok, shunned by many on YouTube and other platforms, she could no longer command the huge audience she once did. Today, That Vegan Teacher's online presence is a shadow of its former self. Her primary stage is her YouTube channel, which has roughly 250,000 to 260,000 subscribers as of mid-2025, a decent following, but nowhere near the millions she influenced on TikTok at her peak. Her videos continue to trickle out almost daily, but view counts are far more modest now. The average upload might get a few thousand views compared to the millions of hits her TikToks once received. The wider public largely ignores her now. She's become a niche figure that occasionally surfaces in Remember Her conversations or in the content of a few dedicated detractors. Crucially, TikTok has kept the ban in place. Every time Katie attempted a comeback on that platform, moderators were quick to act. For example, when she launched a TikTok account called Miss Katie's Vegan School as a second wind attempt, it gathered around 50,000 followers in a week, but was then promptly banned as well. Another alt account, questioning.ourthoughts, got about 20,000 followers before TikTok shut it down. It appears the major social media platforms lost patience with her approach. To this day, searching TikTok for That Vegan Teacher yields fan-made compilations and parodies, but no official accounts. And what about public sentiment? By most accounts, the online community has long since turned against That Vegan Teacher. The majority of vegans continue to distance themselves from her tactics, emphasizing that her aggressive, adversarial style is not representative of the vegan movement. Animal rights organizations prefer to spotlight positive advocacy and have largely stayed silent on Katie's antics, indicating a desire not to be associated with her notoriety. On forums and Reddit, one can still find discussions ridiculing her latest videos or questioning if she's just a troll or actually serious. In fact, by 2025, a common view is that Katie has effectively become an internet lolcow, a figure people watch only to mock. Dozens of small YouTube channels persist in milking her content for reactions, though even that trend has slowed as audiences lose interest. In reflecting on her journey, it's clear Katie Diekmeyer's story is a cautionary tale. She rode a wave of viral fame that was both self-made and self-sabotaged. Her unwavering dedication to veganism was admirable in principle. Indeed, she succeeded in making millions aware of animal rights issues. However, her penchant for shock value and confrontation ultimately undermined her message. Instead of sparking compassion, she often provoked anger or ridicule. The internet that once amplified her cause ended up amplifying her missteps. TikTok, YouTube, and other platforms stepped in when the public outcry grew too loud, demonstrating how community guidelines against hate speech, harassment, and graphic content can limit even the most viral creator if they go too far. Now, if you want to see how a whole entire group took things too far, and I really mean beyond anything the vegan teacher did, maybe you've even heard of them. PETA, the organization which everybody thinks is protecting animals, but honestly, it couldn't be further from the truth. They euthanize thousands of animals every year, have very shady practices, and even target children. If you want to see their dark past, then click here or link in the description.